I mean, firstly, I was charged with not sharing the money with the university. That was the policy that I was accused of. Okay, so there was 2 charges.
Yeah.
As you would read in the
Yes,
book.
yes.
So the first charge was basically dereliction of duty, and they used the evidence of the access card information, which only come literally every Saturday I was there. So that should have clicked in someone's mind that this person is here Saturday morning until evening, because that's what I was teaching 2 classes on Saturdays. So during the week I'm not there. When I come for meetings, so you see that 1 hour 2 hour here and there, but Saturdays I'm there. Every Saturday I'm there, but it never clicked. Instead the charge is
Welcome to Bookmark Conversations. This is your host, Penny. Today is our episode 2 of season 3. And today I have an amazing lady, Dr. Sibongile Vilakazi. We'll be talking about a book, Put Her in Her Place. I don't want to be put in my place, guys. You must just know, you can't put me in my place. But anyways, we'll be talking about this interesting book, and just to find out more about her, her journey, what is she currently doing at the moment, and her whole entire experience. Some of you have seen it on the media. When I was reading the book, the media can just I don't know, that you become speechless. Media can do whatever it is that they want to do with anyone's story. But today, guys, we are telling stories behind stories, and we are getting her story directly from her. So here it is. Hello, Sibongile.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking time to come see us today.
Yes.
Yeah, so I met you last year, and I went on that International Women's Day event, and I didn't know you. So I remember when you stood up and then you were talking, I could hear the buzz from the ladies that were at the event. When you stood up and talked, and I think I came late or something. We were already talking. I can't remember. But then when you stood up and there was this buzz, like other women hooting for you and those kind of things. I was sitting. I was like, there is definitely a story here. The way these other ladies, they are like, oh yes, Sibongile. I was like, okay. And I even came home. I said, there's something about WITS. I told my husband, I said, this is about WITS. Do you know how? Maybe on TV, because he watches the news more than me. He said, I'm not too sure here. I said, go check there. There's something about this woman. Otherwise, the ladies wouldn't have made a buzz and wanted to hear what she had to say. But thank you so much. I've read your book. It's amazing.
Thank you.
And the nice thing about it is you did not dwell that much, on some people will just write a story up until you lose track of what the story is about. It's a book that you can pick up and finish in a day.
Yeah.
I think Unolwazi finished it within a day. And also, I think I took about 2 days to read the book. So for guys listeners, or you watching our YouTube, I always talk about that, the size of the book, guys. This one here, you will not be disappointed. Pick up the book. I'm telling you right now, you'll finish it within a day. Everything that she talks about is it's on point. It's something that you just turn the page, you want to know more, and then by the end of you're just done with the book. So it's quite an amazing book.
Thank you
It's
for
quite
that
an amazing
feedback.
book. Did you get somebody publish your book? Or somebody edited the book and you said publish the book?
No, I got a publisher. So the publisher, then you can see the name there, Township Press. So how it came about. So the media things, and I felt that no, man, I need to write my own side of the story.
Of the story.
This. Yeah.
Yes.
So and then I wrote it, and it was very quick. But also I was conscious that I wasn't writing for an academic. I wanted a book that is accessible, that anyone can read and understand quickly. But also the quality of the story must be such that it can easily be used as a case study in a university setting.
Yes, in future.
Yeah, that you can literally pick it up and use it as a case study. It's referenced, so everything that I say, I've also researched some of the things that I say. I'm not just talking from,
Yes.
So it is, you've got the references that I've used. So it can literally be an academic book.
Yeah.
And I did that because, I mean, how do you compete with a judgment? Because people believe a judgment.
Yeah.
It has so much authority and power. And there I was looking at this judgment. I'm like, but they are describing someone that I don't even recognize.
Yeah,
Who's
I don't know this person.
Yeah, who's this person? And then it became important to me that, I have to write my own story, because as much as a judge, or in this case an acting judge, has authority and power, I'm also someone. I'm a doctor as well, so I can put my name behind my story and make it sit side by side. That you can't read the judgment without reading the other side.
Academic, I mean. You
So
are.
so that's why I had to do that. So the quality, as you can see, it's because of that.
We like the cases also. You've actually brought us to the courtroom type of thing, because now you also put those in the book, so we can actually see the judgments as well. So we can somehow like picture, oh, okay, this is what she actually had in her hand at that time. So you take us on your journey. So not telling us about it, but also you're showing us some of the things that actually you receive on those days, those times when you're going through the court case.
Yeah. So this other professor, a friend of mine, when the case yaga Omotoso. What's her name? The lady, Cheryl.
Yeah.
I think he was watching it, because he called me. He says, I'm watching the news with my wife, and this story is touching me so much, and I felt that maybe you need to reach out to her, because the way she was crying, it was like it's the end of the road for her. And he was saying to me, maybe speak to her, because when what you did, yes, the courts said what they said, but you wrote your own judgment.
Yes.
You
wrote your own judgment, and we'll get to it now. Gosh. Okay, so what I want to ask you, so I have a few questions of mine. So sometimes I set questions, but as we talk, then sometimes I don't. I'm led by the conversation. Then whatever you say, then it triggers a question for me. While I want to say first with the book, I love it, because when I looked at it, there, like you are. There's your eye there, it's like somebody's putting you in your place. You don't want to be put in there. That's me now, because as a reader, I have books and whatever. I meet so many authors, and I always see tell authors about their covers, whatever, if I like it or if I don't like it. And I always say to them, make an effort, put an effort onto the cover of your book, because there's so many books. As we walk past exclusive books or wherever, we are like taken by, what's this, what is, and then sometimes you buy the book because it just caught your eye, not that you were planning to actually get that book. The cover of the book says a lot, about the book as well. So we do judge the book by its cover.
Yes, unfortunately.
And
I knew that the Jabulile, the owner of the publishing company, I knew that she got it, because I wrote this thing and then I sent it to her, because I know that she has got a publishing company, and I sent it to her and asked, can you publish this? So she read it. I mean, like you say, it's so quick to finish. She read it in a day, and she came back to me and said, yeah, this is definitely one of the types of stories that we publish. And then she said, I'm putting a team behind it, and I'll let you know to work on it. And then a week later, she sent me this cover.
You loved it.
I was blown away. Like, because for me, just told me she gets it.
She gets
the story. She gets what I'm trying to do. And so definitely she's the one to do this. And I mean, if you meet her, you will see she's a very calm person and brilliant mind. Wow. So and that's exactly what I needed. I needed someone to treat my story with that level of calmness and brilliance. So it's like the two of us came together,
Yep.
and two brilliant women just produced, because I wouldn't have come up with such a cover. But when she sent it to me, I was like, this is it. How did you get
everything
the picture?
articulated the way that you wanted it to be.
So the publishing
awesome.
company did a sterling job.
That's very, very nice. That's very.
Township
I love it.
Press.
Oh, I love the cover.
Thank you.
In the first few pages of your book, you refer heavily to Adichie's book. Why? Do you just love Adichie as well?
Yeah, I do. I mean, she's quite inspiring.
Yeah.
She's just inspiring. But also, yes, as a writer, but her ideas that allow us, especially as women, African, to be comfortable with ourselves.
Yes.
And she. I mean, the part of her that I quote. That when you don't tell your own story, you leave it to interpretations that can define you without you having the correct narrative for yourself.
And you allow other people to tell your story.
Yeah.
Like they've done.
And
they won't tell it the way that you would have told it. And some people, it's like they will tell your story the way they wanted to tell. Just because, like media, obviously.
Yeah.
I was so shocked when I was reading that part. I was like, how did it get to this? Somebody's interpretations. This is different things. It's like people just want to be heard. Whatever they say doesn't matter.
It's also sensationalism. I mean, they're selling papers. So they have to pick what they know people love scandal. I think we have to accept that. South Africans love scandal.
Exactly. Exactly. It's funny because I was saying I had Sakumzi. I don't know if you know Sakumzi.
I know Sakumzi.
You know Sakumzi. So when we were changing to season 3, and I think I spoke to you about it, that I've been season 1 and season 2. My focus was only on authors, those kind of things. And now season 3, I'm looking like at yes, authors are gonna come in if you have a book, but more on people's stories now. So because I believe that there are people who have made an impact in life, however, they don't have a book. But it doesn't mean that they don't have a story to tell. So Sakumzi is one of those people. He's made success of his businesses, in his community, and he's recognized even outside South Africa. He's recognized for his effort, for his businesses, for his all these kind of things. However, when he came here, when he knew that he was coming, I said to him, you'll be the first one, because now I'm targeting a different audience as well, and different markets, and I want people to see a shift. The pen is no longer for books only. So you can have a book and a story, but then there are some people who are business people who have come in here who have books though, but they also are business people. I said, you're a businessman, but a respected one. In South Africa, but you don't have a book. But it doesn't mean that you don't have a story to tell. It doesn't mean you're not going to inspire someone who's sitting somewhere. So I needed to come in. So we chatted, and then he came. So he asked me for questions. I said, I don't normally send people questions before they said, Penny, please, can you send me questions? I said, what are you going to do with them? Then I decided to him. He was like shaking when he was sitting. He was like, I've never been on a podcast before. I said, I've never been on a podcast before. And I was telling them, my team was saying to them, this is the thing. South Africa has so many podcasts. We have so many podcasts, but it's very strange when a person like Sakumzi will be saying to me, he's never been invited to a podcast. I said, but you've done so well for yourself. But then what is it do they want, these people? Probably these podcasts, they want a different story. They want something that's going to, like you're saying, that's going to sell. So him telling them their journey and inspiring people is not what they want to hear. They want to hear something huge that's gonna then, I don't know, make their podcast huge or whatever. I said that's what one of my crew said to me. He said, no, it's like waiting for something to happen, a big thing that will take off, but not what
ordinary
him inspiring
extraordinary things.
Like how I'm uplifting the community. Where did I start? This is my story. This was my family house was, where the business started. No one wants to hear that because they're not interested in that.
He has such a wonderful, because I know him because I've been to his
place,
outlet, and I can't even remember the first time, because we were doing, I think it was related to my work at the time. So we were doing a immersion, I think. So that's how I got to know his story, and it's such an inspiring.
It is.
Story. So I don't know why would anybody
Metro
not
was
want.
like, oh, why hasn't anyone invited you not to a podcast? So they need scandal. So hence your book then has different versions of what exactly happened, from the media's perspective. But anyways, what was your relationship like with your mentor during your internship at the resource center?
The Human Sciences Research Center.
Yes. How was your relationship?
Oh, Linda, shame. Linda Chisom.
Linda Chisom, yes. How was your relationship?
No, Linda really, I think she gave me permission to be the kind of woman I became after my internship, because she didn't treat me like someone who just came straight from university who has no clue.
Yeah.
She believed in me, and I don't know why. Like, there was this woman, I came in, and she saw something I didn't see in myself. And she encouraged that thing. Like, she didn't put
it down.
Yeah, she really encouraged it. I remember the one story that stands out with her was, she asked me for, I mean, if you know Linda Chisom, you would know she's the guru of education. Yep. Like, she's written so much in the education space. She's one of the people that came up with OBE. For the country. Okay, all the intentions of OBE.
Yes.
If you see what she wrote and what ended up becoming is not what she put in place.
Yes.
But yeah, she came up with that idea. So anything education in this country,
she has a hand in it.
Linda has influenced it.
Wow.
So I mean, she's a big name, and here I am as an intern under her, and then she was meant to go to a conference to deliver a paper. So, and then she asked me to do research for her for this conference. Do the research, and she said, just write the paper start the paper, write it for me. And I write the paper, and then I send it, I give it to her I thought, this is my draft, and then she will change it obviously and make it whatever that she wants to do.
Yeah.
Then she reads it, and then she says, oh, okay. She says, go and present it. I'm like, no, just like that, no, go and present it. I'm like, so, and then she had accepted that she's coming. So I get to the conference, they're expecting Linda Chisom on the
yes, to come present.
Yeah, on the agenda.
Yeah.
Yes, that Linda is, the next up is Linda Chisom. And then there
you come.
Tiny Sibongile Vilakazi, an intern. I mean, and this conference, obviously, it's big names.
Yes.
And then I get up. I obviously apologize that I'm here on behalf of Linda. She couldn't make it.
Sorry, guys.
You are stuck with me. And I presented the reception. It gave me so much confidence. It was my paper. I wasn't presenting on her behalf.
Yes.
Something that she had written.
You prepared it yourself.
It was my paper.
Your work.
Yeah, it was my paper, and I presented it. And the reception. So I will never forget her for that.
Yes.
For giving me that
just
confidence.
believing in you as well.
And using her wings to allow me to then fly, because literally that's what she did.
Yes.
She borrowed me her wings at that conference. And
gosh, I wish we had a lot of Lindas out there, because it's hard to find people like that.
Yeah,
people just hold on to those positions or to their statuses, in their whatever they're thinking they've built for themselves.
Yeah.
They wouldn't want to share with anybody.
Yeah,
that stage was hers, not yours.
Yeah,
but she allowed you to actually shine in that space.
Yeah, using her wings.
Yeah,
and so for that,
that's very, very nice. We need to do that, guys. I really think as people, we need to know that the world, I think the world is it's big for all of us. That's another thing.
The pie is
big. Yes, the pie is huge. It's actually huge. So we need to actually think of how we can actually just help that other person as well. Just bring that other person up. And I think we don't do that. It really is not happening. People are stuck, and that you can assist, but you just like, why should I? I also struggled and whatever. Then you leave the person there. So other people are like that. It is like that. So I hope. Unfortunately, when you started, at WITS Business School as a 50% lecturer, you were what was considered a high commodity at the time, a young Black female South African demographic. However, when you were going through your case with WITS, the reason why you were highly sought after now became the things that were pitted against you. At what point do you think your existence became a problem rather than the asset for the institution?
Yeah, I think they forgot their why. You know, sometimes when you start a business, or you start whatever it is that you do, and along the way, challenges happen and all of that, and the only thing that keeps you going is your why. Why did you start? You know, what were you trying to achieve with this thing? It's the thing that will sustain you. It's the thing that will assist you to make the right decisions. Say no to the things that you should be saying no to, and yes to the things that you should be saying yes to, because you are grounded on your why. And I think that's, unfortunately, that's what happened. It's a situation that presented complexity for them.
Yep.
And they just did not know.
That's a funny thing. I just want, as Dr. Vilakazi is saying, as Sibongile is saying this, it comes up, guys. We yesterday, my team, 2 Gen Zs, they did a review of Sibongile's book, and it's quite interesting because I'm in the workspace, you know, and they haven't been, and I wanted, this was important for me, for them to actually do the review, right? So that they can tell, because they're still going to that workplace. So we wanted their feelings, you understand? How do they feel? And the nice thing about this is, with this podcast, there is a review of an hour of Sibongile's book. So that's why you guys will be listening on your ears. And then, but me, the funny thing is, when I started getting to understanding the whole thing about you being put in your place, why you were saying that, the whole dismissal thing. First thing that I said on my side, I said no. You know, first few pages, I said dismissal. I said no, but this was my view. I said no. I said no. How can you? I said there are so many in South Africa. You know, we have all these policies, we have all these rules and whatever. You know, if you're a performer in a company, where I am also working, so if you're a performer in a company, I think your judgment was very, very harsh. This is me. This is Penny saying this. Very, very harsh for that offense. I think the university could have done, maybe discipline you differently.
Yeah, and for me, even at this, and for me, a discipline, it didn't even have to get there. It didn't. I mean, the fact that
That's what I'm saying to you. It didn't have to get there. You would hear it on the review.
Is it
what we are saying? What they are saying? Probably it was. There was a point where the university also could not just, even though they were feeling like they could see that this, you know what,
there's nothing here.
Yes, but the fact that everyone was looking now, it's a huge institution, and there are so many stakeholders. They actually had to come out with what they whatever they said at the beginning. They couldn't now allow
reverse.
You to win. They couldn't allow you to win. And I was glad when they were giving me feedback yesterday of what they reviewed your book. They said exactly that. This was the thing. They said there was no way the university could actually now revert back and say, you know what, we made a mistake here and whatever. There was a lot at stake.
Yeah.
So you...
Interesting. That's how they see it.
She said to me, unfortunately, she was just a victim in a huge scheme of things. It wasn't about her. That's what she said to me. She said to me, you hear that? She said it was not about her. So she must just remember that it wasn't about her.
Yeah, there was something else.
There was something. It wasn't about her. It was about the huge institution and the stakeholders and everything. It was never about you. So that is what I'm saying. When you are listening to it, you won't cry. But when you're listening to it, it's all those facts. Because when you're looking where we're standing or where I'm standing, I honestly think you were a high performer. You're performing well. Students loved you. You know, like everybody loved you. You were an asset for the university. So if people are talking about their performance, the results were there and they were good.
Yeah.
You understand? So now, at what point would you just dismiss somebody like that instantly?
Hey.
You understand what I'm saying? You can't. You actually, well, I would actually have, in your situation when I was there, I stopped. I was like, okay, maybe say to her, you stop this, we don't want this.
Yeah.
Stop this, or you'll be dismissed. Here is your first warning.
Yes.
Right? Just
Yes.
for an instant dismissal. No.
It doesn't just, it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. That's why we are saying that there is no way that at some point they did say this, but it has gone too far for them to actually say, no, we made a mistake. It wouldn't look good for them as well.
Well, I don't know now if it looks good now that I'm talking about it, because I don't think they also anticipated that, that you are dealing with someone who is not going to just go and cry in her little corner and disappear.
And be silent.
Yeah, because now everybody knows what happened.
Knows.
Yeah, so I don't know then who.
That is, I think that's when you started at WITS Business School, you received a lot of help from other academic staff and admin staff. That's mentioned in the book, despite them not being obligated to help you. And these people were primarily Black African people, I think, who saw that, hey, there is doctor, you know. Do you think that there was a strong sense of, a strong sense of camaraderie amongst Black professionals within that time? And how would you say it compares to now?
Yeah, I think because at the time the organization was transforming. It was including.
So it came at the right time.
Yeah, it was including Black people, but when organizations are still transforming, there's still those things that are underneath. Because then there was also a transformation committee, like most organizations, to transform the institution. Yes. So there was that closeness amongst then Black academics, especially Black South African, because there's another nuance at universities that I don't think we are paying enough attention to as Black South Africans. That yes, there may be other Black academics, but most of them are non-South African. Yeah, yes. They're non-South African. Yes. So, and there's also that thing that we are some kind of a competition between them and us. So there was that closeness. But I think for me, the story that is, I've written about it, you see in the book, that is, you've seen it, that is for me more inspiring is Mzo. Mzo was a sessional lecturer. So you have sessional, and then you have the ones that are contracted full-time by the organization. Yeah. Sessional come in and you just give that lecture and that's it. Yeah, and then before me, there was no one teaching strategy yes. For the institution. Yes. So Mzo was doing most of it. So I came in literally as competition. Because if I do well and I grow, that chances are there will be no need.
There's no need for
a sessional lecturer. So I was literally his competition. And for him to have that big of a heart and that...
Yeah, I assisted you. You mentioned that.
Yeah, like literally. No, like he literally mentored me. The material that I started using was from him. He gave me everything, that this is how this is my style. This is what I do. Come to my class and watch me.
Yes.
All the onboarding that the institution should have prepared for me as a new person coming in wasn't there. And instead it was facilitated by someone who was working for the institution as and when he's called to come and give that service. Literally he was a service provider. So, and yet he was so gracious, Umzo, that he gave me all the knowledge that I needed to then decide on my own style and all of that. So for me, really, people like him, adding to the Lindas of this world. So there's them Zos also of this world, who don't see the glass as half full. They believe we can all share.
Even though he knew he was not permanent, and you being full there, that means he was going to lose the job.
Yeah.
But then yet he helped you.
Yeah.
You had to find people like this.
Exactly. But you also find them. So the fact that we can make these examples, it means, it's just we don't elevate them enough, maybe.
Exactly. They are there, but you hardly hear the results of this. You hardly hear people actually saying that, I was assisted by so and so. I don't know, maybe that time, but these days people are for themselves. I'm sorry. It's like it turned out to be something different, completely different now. Yeah, because you'll find that even in the workplace, you'll get to the workplace and then maybe there's somebody who's supposed to show you something, and people are like, "Oh, but this person applied for the job,
Yeah, exactly.
Why can't you do the job?
Yeah.
Like why?" Oh, and then it's
Or they withhold.
it's scanning all over. No, they decided to go outside and get her.
Yeah.
So let her do the job. So now you are like, it's not that I don't know my ins and outs of here. And then people are just walking. You must just so much swim yourself. You'll find your own way, because they are like, "Oh, she was found outside because she has qualification." They will say stuff like that. She has qualification and she's black. Let her do it. Let her do the work. So it's still happening even today.
No, it's true.
It is
it's
still
true.
happening. Did receiving support from your student mean anything to you?
No, it meant a lot. It meant, I mean, the fact that they were even willing to write testimonials.
Yes, I did see.
Like.
But that was very bad, I must say, that for them to actually, when you were dismissed and then when you left the office, and you were in the middle of, teaching material, checking work and doing all these things, submissions, needs to be checked and all those kind of things. And this thing happens and no one says anything, and the students get to class and admin staff is phoning you, "Where are you?" And those kind of things. This was horrible.
But I guess it just tells you of how badly this whole thing was managed.
No, that was very, very bad.
It just tells you, and it also tells you they didn't have an end plan.
That's why I'm telling you,
it's a car that crashed.
That's why I'm telling you right now that I yesterday, I was not looking at the angle that Undolwazi was looking at. When she saw me, when I arrived yesterday back home, and she said to me, "This is this," and give me the feedback, whatever. And she told me, she said, "It wasn't about her." She said, "It wasn't about her. It was about the institution. This is huge. This was bigger than her. No one could say now we are wrong. It was far gone." So if people were reading at your book in that angle, you understand. And I said to her, it's so good because now you guys have come up with a different perspective of looking at Sibongile's book. So people are looking at it like that WITS had no choice. At this point, they had no choice because they could not now say later on when you're in court, when you put in your appeal to say, "Oh no, you know what, sorry. No, now we need to reinstate her back in the job." They can't. Because of their reputation as well.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah.
Shame, just everything. Sneeman highlighted in your case the amount that you were earning with Kanta inside. Is Kanta still existing? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, I need to check the name, the company, because I haven't heard about this company and what, I haven't heard it. But it looks like it's a very successful company.
Yeah, it's an international company.
It's an international company. Okay, so Sneeman highlighted in your case the amount that you were earning with Kanta and cited it as a significantly larger compared to your vet salary, and therefore presented under the claim that you were of your untrustworthy character. In this case, your moonlighting job paid more than your full-time job. What do you think this says about economic state of South Africa and the perceptions of the importance of academia, where jobs in academia that essentially funnel most other forms of employment, they earn significantly less?
Yeah, no, but the nature of, and that's the thing with Sneeman taking things out of context. But even in during the disciplinary, because this is a business school,
yes,
and WITS is a big institution and it has different schools. So there's a business school, there's a medical school, there's engineering school, and all these schools, they operate according to their own way of operating. Yeah,
and you just to sorry to interject there. So what I always thought was, that is very, very good for a business school, because you started there as you're working at Alexander Forbes, right? And you were doing your what's this contract work at the university, and that's always good because obviously you are coming with a background from corporate, you are bringing it to the business.
Practical.
It is something that is happening.
Yeah.
In any case.
And that's what they were looking for in any case. They were after exactly that. But because the thing was reported to main campus. And main campus they probably have their own also ways of, I don't know how they run things at main campus. This was a matter at business school.
Yes.
So the employee relations person who was handling the matter had no clue how the business school is
running. Yes.
So the first thing that they needed to do was familiarize themselves. Like, that's why even in the book I allude to that all that needed to happen was a meeting. Bring me to a meeting, explain why do you have an issue, give me the option, which, okay, if you don't want to be here, then you can go. Because I could have easily have left if then I decided, you guys, the way you're doing things, I don't want to be here. Why the drama? Why go through drama? Disciplinary? I discover that through an email that now I'm being invited to a disciplinary. Then I call my line manager, who's my mentor, who I am relying on him to navigate this space.
But and then he was supposed to actually know the extent of this whole thing, but before you were even called.
Then that's why I ask in the book, I ask myself, what's going on? What were his motives?
Exactly.
Because then it turns out that it's him who reported me.
Because you tell him, and then that you were called, and he said, no, it's nothing. It can't be serious. You just need
he didn't say it's not serious, but he said fix the hours, because from the outside, if someone is looking in, they can use this thing against you. Because he knew the environment better than I do. He knew that this potentially could harm you.
Could actually be a problem.
He did advise me, but because I didn't see the danger. If I just fixed it then and there when he said it, by the time I received this disciplinary thing, and I'm like, what are you talking about? It would have been again an embarrassment on their part. That was all they needed to do was come me
and talk to you.
Yeah, honestly. Come to me and ask me what's going on. And then decide whether then there's an answer, there's a policy breach to be answered for. And even then, does it mean that now
you
must be dismissed
instantly like that? No. You were an asset for the university. Honestly, stuff like that, you sit with the person, like you were saying, discuss it, and then say, okay, even if they were saying to you, stop it, we don't want it.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, okay,
then I'm choosing to go.
Or you're choosing to go to Canada. You understand? You make your own decision.
Yeah. But also because the way that the academic institution, especially business school, works, it's not necessarily a full-time job. Yes, the contract may write 5 to 8, whatever,
or 8 to 5,
8 to 5 hours, but that's not how it works. And if it were like that, it wouldn't attract any.
You wouldn't have time to do any
individual, anyways.
Exactly,
because you are not selling time. You are selling brains. You are selling ideas. So you must come up with, for instance, the material that would be taught for the students. You need to go and sit down and research and do what needs to happen, and you come up with that, and then you teach it to your students. There's the type of student that comes in. It's not full-time student. Business school is not full-time.
Yes.
It's people who are working.
It's people
so
who are
you
working.
are either teaching in the evenings or Saturdays.
Exactly.
So the context is completely. It's not like
you are teaching the first year students. It's like they are coming in the morning, and then up to 4 o'clock they have lectures and stuff like that.
It's not the same.
But people are working who are mostly at the business school.
Yeah. But even if you are teaching first year students, even then you are not teaching. A teaching job is not full time. You have a module that you are probably taking, and then it's a semester. Maybe you are only teaching for that semester.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the semester, so you are not in class, but you have other deliverables.
Yes.
So you have papers
outside
to publish.
That,
You have, and for those things, you don't come to the office necessarily
There's
to be
no
able
need
to do that.
Yes.
It's not something that you must do. By sitting. It's not like a packer that you must be. You are in the teller. You must sit there and if you are not there 3, it means you've absconded work. There's no such a thing. You are judged on deliverables.
On your
not
output.
on time.
Yes,
on time. So for Sneyman to go hopping on the time and says it's humanly impossible, I'm like, this is laughable. Because you have really you have taken this whole thing out of context. And you have not even taken the time to read properly, even the documents that have been given to you. Because if you had read the documents that have been given to you, you would have a different understanding of the situation. But no, that did not happen, unfortunately.
That didn't happen. Okay, it seems that each time you went to court, the charges were changed drastically and worsened. Do you think this was done so that your representatives and yourself were always caught off guard and therefore could never represent you to the fullest potential? Because you have prepared for charges you are made aware of, but then when you get to court and all those charges are dropping, making your case preparation useless.
Yeah, and in this case, it's not even the courts; it's just a disciplinary hearing.
Or is it the disciplinary hearing? Yes.
Yeah, the disciplinary hearing. I mean, firstly, I was charged with not sharing the money with the university. That was the policy that I was accused of. Okay, so I had there was 2 charges.
Yeah,
as you would read in the
yes,
book.
Yes.
So the first charge was basically dereliction of duty, and they used the evidence of the access card information, which only come literally every Saturday I was there. So that should have clicked in someone's mind that this person is here Saturday morning until evening, because that's what I was teaching 2 classes on Saturdays. So during the week I'm not there when I come for meetings, or so you see that 1 hour 2 hour here and there, but Saturdays I'm there every Saturday. I'm there, but it never clicked. Instead the charge is that is dereliction of duties, and then the
declaration, and
then the second one was the declaration was after. The initial charges were dereliction of duties, and then the Cori policy. So it was about sharing money. So if you are consulting and using the university resources, then you must then share the money with the university.
Okay.
So now we get there for the disciplinary. Firstly, now it's like really time the dereliction of duty just because someone is not in the office. That's how everybody operates here. So then they drop that charge, because the line manager also confirms that there's no such. So which means they compiled these charges, did their own thing without even involving him. That's how crazy this thing is. Because clearly, if they had involved him, he would have told them that charge
this is how it works.
This is how things work.
Yes, exactly.
This charge is irrelevant. So they had to drop it there at the disciplinary hearing. And then, but they dropped it after I had already requested. They dropped it the second sitting. So this was the first sitting.
And
then I said, okay, if you're assuming that I'm at the other company all this time, that's why, because I'm derelict duties. Can I get the same information? From the same company so that you can see?
Yes.
And then I needed time then for that. Then it had to be postponed. And then when it's set again, then they dropped it.
Okay.
So now there was no longer a need for evidence.
No longer,
yes. So that charge. But now that charge, in my view, even my lawyer's views, was the second one was hanging on the first one. So for you to then say this is gross misconduct, warranting dismissal, the first one had to be proven.
Yes.
That is dereliction of duty. You have not done the work. You have disadvantaged the institution.
Exactly.
Because you haven't done the work.
Yes.
Yeah. So if they could prove the first one, then the second one.
But they couldn't prove that.
And they had to drop it.
Yes.
But because the charge sheet has already been given to you up front, now they have to stick to the charge sheet. So if they drop this one, then they're selling the second one. Then the second one, it says you have prejudiced the university because you've taken on additional work without the university knowledge, and therefore you
didn't declare.
And therefore you have prejudiced the university.
Yes.
So now the policy that I've now broken, when we sit the second time, it's no longer the fact that I didn't share money with the university. Now they bring a new policy. Now the new policy is now the declaration policy. Yeah. And then the challenge about that policy, when you read it, it is all over the show. It says different things at different times, and it's difficult then to understand. Firstly, I was seeing it for the first time, honestly, but obviously when you sign contracts, you say,
I've read them. I've read them. Yes. They are saying they are online. They are on somewhere available, and then you are signing this.
You will. I know. No, it just says you will familiarize yourself. That's what I've signed in my contract. I will familiarize.
And you didn't go back.
So I was seeing this for the first time.
Oh my God. I doubt anyone goes, but people go back when they have something that they need.
Then you go back to your contract. Yeah. And you say, what does it say? So that's what happened. And then now this policy now, it says, but my understanding is that your declaration is annual. You declare annually by a certain date. By the 28th of February. That's the one that I knew.
Yeah.
And HR even reminds you. They send you reminders around the time that, guys, if you
it's that time of this.
declare everything. So that was my so I thought I was okay. Like, declaration is about now it's a spin now that for this it's the way they've worded the charge. If you read the policy now, it falls under moonlighting. In moonlighting, it says work that potentially.
Yeah, there's a lot of definitions for that. For moonlighting.
But the one that the university has, because you can't you can't prosecute someone on general rules.
Yeah,
it has to come up with it has to be your rules.
Yes.
So and then the university definition of moonlighting is that it's work that potentially that requires time that could potentially conflict
with your normal duties.
Yeah, that can block you from doing your normal duties.
Or you can be exhausted from doing that work.
No, it's not even exhausting. Not even you're taking it far. It's about work that potentially could require more time than you need for the university.
How?
That's what moonlighting is for them. So, and then for that work, you have to ask for permission. So my argument is that for me to conclude that this is moonlighting and therefore I need to ask for permission, I have to determine that this is work that could take more time.
Yeah.
It requires more time. And in my instance, it's not true.
Yeah.
This is not work it's not a conflict.
Yes.
And in the end, Snyman positions it as, and he changes the charge, by the way, in the judgment. Suddenly the charge is moonlighting / conflict of interest.
Yes.
It's like, where did you get that from? This is a lawyer. He understands words mean something. Words, you use words carefully. Lawyers know this. And that's why we go to them for them to draft things for us, because they will make sure that you use a word that will not later get you into trouble. Because it means something. It could mean something.
Yes.
So he knew exactly what he was doing as he drafted. Why change it? Because why not just put the charge as is? Taking on work, because what was the charge again? Taking on additional work without the knowledge of the university. That was the charge. So then where does conflict of interest come in? Why then do you present it as conflict of interest?
Of interest, yeah.
You see. So, and it was deliberate. It was so that it creates a hype. Yeah, so it changed. At the DC, it changed. Now suddenly I'm there prepared for this policy that I didn't share the money.
Yes.
Suddenly now I have to argue, Oguti, I didn't ask for permission. I'm like, Haibo, well, I didn't ask for permission. I didn't think that I needed to ask for permission. And I never lied. Like when my line manager brought it to me, I didn't deny it. I said yes. I explained to him what is happening. So now, what is the issue? And I said there, like, I'm confused. What is the issue? What's going on here?
Oh my goodness. There was a time, I think, when I was reading on the appeal, when you went for an appeal, gosh, the way that Snyman just like, or was this, Snyman, when you sent your case for appeal on the
Labour Court.
Labour Court. Aibo. So it's like 1, 2, 3, done, finished. It's like they already made up their mind before you actually even came in, before they even looked at what you guys presented. I felt like their minds were already made up.
Yeah, no, definitely.
There was nothing that you could have said or done or presented, or no material that they were interested in looking at. It was just like...
And you needed to be there to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, a friend of mine who was there, I asked her to write a chapter, and then she was like, She said to me when we left there, she's like, friend, if I wasn't here and you told me what had just happened, I would have said you're lying. Because it was so unbelievable that a place of justice can conduct itself like that. It was appalling. Like, I was insulted. I was so angry that how do you do that? Because I don't expect to be right. When you take things in front of a judge or in front of an independent person, you are not saying I'm right and you must.
You're saying
this is the way I see it. This is the way they see it. Please judge it.
Yes, that's why you are the judge. You are judging
both sides. You have to hear both sides. And
yes.
then say, I would have been okay living, feeling that I was heard, but I'm wrong. Exactly. Then I would have walked away. Yes. You know what? I'm wrong, and it's fine. I will move away.
Not for him to say you are not supposed to even bring it up here. Bye-bye.
Do you think someone would spend so much money in lawyers and spend so much time, 6 years, to bring a matter? Yes, and the least you can do is just hear them. You decide, no.
Hebo, I know, I was shocked. She was very, very shocked. When last did you speak to Professor? When we see, I'm pronouncing it right, Alakidede and Professor Stacy.
Well, Alakidede was the last time was when I was there. Yeah, that time. But Professor Stacy was there. He was there at my book launch. So he spoke at my book launch.
Oh, and she stood by you here
until the end. And he then revealed also at the book launch that the policy was changed. Can you believe that? The policy was changed because of all those arguments.
Of all these arguments.
It was changed.
Oh,
it was fixed.
My goodness.
And I'm nowhere near to be recognized for that. Sibongile is gone, but they saw the mistake and they fixed it behind closed doors.
Oh my God! Before you run out of time, I want to know, what have you been up to after you left the university?
Well, a whole lot of things.
I saw your company in Tigelelo. You already running
so that's what I do.
Consulting there.
Yeah, I sit on boards, and then also teaching. I was teaching for Vega.
Okay.
But now I'm teaching for Da Vinci Institute. So that's where I am now.
So you've been all over.
Yeah, no. Life doesn't stop, and I guess I was telling someone the other day that life is funny because there are human laws, or laws that are created by humans.
Yes.
And you get judged on those laws, whether you did right or wrong. But then there are laws that are laws of nature.
Yeah.
And no one escapes those. So if you do something with the right intention, nature will judge you.
Yes.
And if you do it with the wrong intention, nature will judge you. No one escapes those laws. So that's why we call it karma. If you do something, it will find a way to come back to you. You will know whether someone, whatever they were doing, they were malicious or not by their life, how their life turns out afterwards. And I think for me, nature judged me well, because as much as this thing could have easily have ruined me, in many ways. Because the depression also, feeling like what just happened to me, because the betrayal is real. Betrayal is the most painful thing that anyone can go through, and it can change you.
And for you not to allow yourself to actually, drag yourself into that depression state, because it's only you. That's what I always say, that you are your own judge. So you judged yourself based on what everybody was saying. If you did that, then I don't think you would be where you are today, because you'd have judged yourself and then you'd have ended wherever it is, whatever place that you will have ended in. You wouldn't have seen the potential that you have to be where you are now, what you are currently doing. So you'll have ended up there, somebody that nobody talks about now.
Yeah.
You'll have just been. So you did not allow that to yourself. So you're very, very resilient. I think when Bali was doing that short video, she was like a woman of substance and resilient. Her resilience, when you're fighting your case, somebody would have just said, this is bigger than me, leave it, and then you just continued with your life. But you fought for justice because you knew that something was wrong here.
Yeah.
So I think it's we need more people like you.
Okay,
so my last question to you is, before we get to that, when you look at the camera box that she's looking at, is which one? Yeah, so I think maybe I just want to hear your words, just to sum it up, your experience. Like, what would you say in your own words about, like, we know what you said in the book, but the whole situation? How did you feel about it, and what would you say to other academians out there?
Yeah, no, I mean, this whole thing, it needed to happen to me. In life, everything that happens for you. It's never that it was an accident or this happened for me. Firstly, I was naive. So I needed to go through the betrayal like that, so that in future I am more vigilant of people's intentions, of people, the way they come across, but also contracts, the role of contracts when we
sign those contracts.
I needed to learn that lesson, that contracts are not just facilitating the relationship. They are actually there for when things go wrong. So when you read a contract, you must always read it for that. What would happen if things go wrong? Don't underestimate that. And sign something that you know, if should things go wrong, it will either help you to defend yourself, or else don't sign it. So I needed to learn that, and in the roles that I've subsequently occupied,
after that,
I realized that, oh my God, I needed that experience, because now I'm vigilant about those kind of things, governance things. I'm very vigilant. So I needed it happened for me. So it needed to happen to me the way that it happened, and also because I am the type of person who anything that is unjust or unfair or it rubs me off. Like, I can't stand it. So the reason, I mean, you say I was resilient, I went on, it's because I wouldn't live with myself if I'd let it go. Because I'm not that person. If there's an injustice, I will see it through. I will, even if it's not about me, someone other person, I will fight until the end. Because I'm just that person. So it needed to happen to someone like that, who will then, in the process, discover other things that I think as a country we are also still battling with. The issue of inclusion, of transformation, transforming institutions, it's a real issue. And sometimes it's easy for us to believe that everything is well, because we are all inside. But there are these nuances, there are these things that are happening that keep undermining you, that keep wanting to put you in your place. And you can easily allow those things or those forces to minimize you, put you in your place. So you need someone who will say, no, I see that. I see what you've just done.
I see what you've done.
I see what you've just done, and I will not let it slide. So it had to happen to me, because now, I mean, the youngsters, people who are reading the book, they will be able to pick it up. Also, when it happens to them, that this is exactly what happened to her. Because sometimes you don't have the words, because it happens in such subtle ways. So you don't realize that you are being removed. You are being put in your place right now. They are reminding you that, remember, don't fly too high. This is how far you need to.
This now you're moving to a different place now. There's your place.
There's your place.
There is your place.
So it needed to happen to me the way that it happened for me, for all the lessons that I needed to learn. And also then for all the lessons that those who are coming after me need to learn.
No.
So
100%. There's a last question that I always ask my guest. In 100 years' time, how would you like to be remembered? And for you, this one, it's like, honestly, after everything that you've been through, Dr. Sibongile Vilakazi, how would you like to be remembered? Now you're gone, 100 years from now. And you, nice thing, you have a book. You will not be forgotten. Now you have even a book. A book is like a symbol. This, I don't want to be forgotten. You know? So, but how would you like to be remembered in 100 years as a woman of what? You know, like, or, like as what? How would you describe yourself to those people that are living at that time? Like thinking about you, or they're hearing a name, Dr. Sibongile Vilakazi. How would you like those people to actually remember you by, or to say about you, because you won't be there?
Yes, I think for me, I mean, obviously people decide how they remember you, and how people remember you or think of you or see you usually has more to do with them than with you. But what I would love for people to say is that she did her best. Every challenge that was given to her, she rose to the occasion, and she did her best.
You've done a lot. I was looking at the YouTube video where somebody was introducing you when you were with the Black Management Forum, when they were introducing you, and the introduction of this lady, I didn't get the name, but she was introducing that you were coming on the podium and saying stuff about you, and then you came. I saw you walking in, and I was like, wow. I was like, I wonder if Sibongile realized, you know, like the presence that she has, because you just took it over just like that. and we started talking. And I said, wow, you know what, the woman of substance, like you know your place. So no one needed to put you in their place. You know your place and you owned it. And when I looked at it, I said she knew her worth when she was taking that mic, on the podium. And good for her. And
thank
good
you
for her. Okay, guys, so we've come to the end of our show with Dr. Sibongile Vilakazi. So as I said, this time we are giving you guys a very, very interesting review. She's going to listen to it first. If she loves it, guess what? She's the one who's going to endorse it. And then you guys then are going to have a chance. We'll tell you where you can actually go and listen to it. And then you can get to hear a whole hour of the review of the book. So it's quite interesting. So yeah, so please guys, if you love this episode, click your subscribe buttons if you have not subscribed, or hit your like buttons, comment. And then if you have any questions for Sibongile, please just drop them down on our comment section, and I will make sure that I send the questions to her, and then she will respond to those questions, and then I will then respond on her behalf. So yeah, so thank you guys for this show. This is Penny. I'm signing out on our bookmark conversation. Till next time, guys.